Beth just said goodbye to her polka dot heels.
Goodbye?
She sold them on Mercari to Shelley, who gladly said
hello.
Just after she said goodbye to a set of bright orange cookware.
Really, Mom? Citrus?
They sold quickly on Mercari to Dan.
Oh, these are groovy.
Then Dan sold his rollerblades on Mercari.
Bye-bye. I bike now.
Which took us back to where we started with Beth, who said,
Hello, rollerblades. Whee!
Buy and sell almost anything from home with Mercari, your marketplace. Find it on the app stores or Mercari.com.
No.
Fuck Dude, that. Shit was literally oozing down my pants leg.
We are back for another episode of The Cray.
The Cray.
I'm Shawn Chase. Anyway, we are back for another episode of The Cray with
right.
Shawn Chase,
Rob
Weiss,
and O'Neal McKnight.
Oh, now you want to say my name.
And it is this episode, like
voice.
every other episode, is presented by our dear friends over at Mercari.
Yes.
And if you haven't checked out the Cray store on Mercari, please do so. We got some really cool products that our generous guests were nice enough to donate over to the store.
Nice.
Adam Carolla, Robert Ory, Perez Hilton. So we got some cool stuff in there. And we're going to have some
people
more
who don't
cool
know,
stuff.
Mercari's an online marketplace. And, you know, I want to thank them for coming out to visit us this week because although they're not on camera,
they are here in
although
person.
They're not on
They're
camera,
here
they're watching
us.
They're watching us.
Definitely check it out. So anyway, we got some great guests here today. We're lucky enough to be joined by some close friends of ours. First, you want to take it away?
Yeah, first I want to talk about just like I want to like spend a little time with us. You know what I mean? I want to like I haven't seen you guys in like a week. You know what I mean?
I know. It's
and
crazy.
I want to talk a little bit about the cray of the week. You know, and what was crazy because people ask me, they're like, well, you know, I talked to this guy, and I know we're gonna do like a name drop meter at some point, right? So every time a name drops, we hear like a ding or some shit. But I was talking to that cat Michael Cohen, that Trump lawyer. I actually went to high school with him. So he's got a podcast, and he was kind of dispensing advice to me the other day, and he goes, he's like, you know, Robert, why the cray? What's the cray? I'm like, you're asking me why the cray? Like, you don't know it's all cray? We're living inside a cray. So I think that, like, for people who are joining, you know, gonna be watching us, even though our expectations aren't to ask the guests what is crazy. You know, we're like us asking them, like, oh, well, who was crazy and what was your life crazy? Because I don't want to do that to people and put people on the spot. But the reality is we're living in a little bit of cray, and I think that
Crazy times, brother.
Yeah, and I think we could talk a little bit about some of the cray we've seen, and I know we talked about that. And, you know, like I've had a lot of cray myself where I felt cray, you know, and then I started to ask myself, what kind of cray I have? Do I have the kind of cray where I'm self-aware enough to know I have cray, which kind of makes me less cray than the kind of cray of people that have no awareness that they're cray.
Yeah.
Because those are the real scary people who think, like, what do you mean I'm totally fine?
Yeah.
And they're fucking bananas.
They make me nervous.
But I definitely was like, oh shit, this week was a little cray. It was a little bit hectic, and, you know, and my head went off a little bit nuts. But the cray I wanted to share that I seen on the news for the last couple nights that I thought was nuts was these 40 cows that escaped a slaughterhouse in like some part of California, and they were on a rant. Yo, it's the sickest story. They were on a
How did 40 cows escape? They picked the lock.
They escaped, but you know what, dude? If you really look at it, like
caught sleeping
dude,
on the job.
it's like Animal Farm. If you look at it as some kind of symbolism, it's these 40 cows escaped, ran for their lives. One of them, they put out in the press report, one of them had to be shot dead because they charged the family. But if you're thinking about it, like 40 prisoners escaping like death row.
But wait a minute. These cows devised a plan to escape?
They must have fucking, listen, I mean, you need a plan, you see a way out, you fucking go. But they're all like facing death anyway. So the way they talk about news, like, well, one of the cows basically had to be shot. And you're like, well, they were all headed for death, you know what I mean? And then like the craziest thing is one of them, all these ranchers, because it's like a rancher town. I gotta find out the name of the town. It's actually right here, man, but I can't read that shit. But whatever, man. There's like all these ranchers came out and like went to help, you know, the police like secure and bring them back to the slaughterhouse. One cow was still loose, and if he's out there and he's listening, I
saw him at the Beverly Center.
I'm rooting for him, man.
I saw him at the Beverly Center.
I'm rooting for him, bro. I want him to escape the slaughterhouse. I mean, I'm not gonna stop eating meat, but I don't eat meat a lot. I'm mostly plant-based, but I do like a steak every once in a while. But I'm actually reconsidering that now because I'm rooting for this fucking cow.
Me too.
You know what I mean? All right, cool.
And
cool,
didn't
cool.
they hire? I remember you were telling me that they hired like a bunch of farmers to go and catch the escaped cows.
No, they have a group of people like the Avengers. And so basically, it's these ranchers or these rangers. They assemble.
ranchers,
and they have
ranchers.
superpowers.
Wow.
And then they go out.
You had 40
fight
cows
crimes.
assembled.
They fight
Oh my
cow
God.
crimes. Yeah.
That is
Yo,
interesting.
you had 40 cows in Pico Rivera. It was like the running of the bulls in fucking shopping malls of Pico Rivera.
Only Rob would
And
know this shit.
Listen, and it's all over the fucking news, dude. It's sandwiched between the
Cow
people who are
news.
vaccinated and not vaccinated, like between those two subjects, right? So you had all the running of the bulls at Pico Rivera. The cops don't know how to deal with the fucking cows and the bulls. You know, they don't know how to deal with it. So the ranchers came out. They said, we know how to round them up. We'll get them home, like home being the place where they're gonna die, and turn into my dinner, right? So, but one of them was like, I'm not buying the shit. I'm fucking out of here, and he dipped. But I think they might have got him. Like, I know they killed the one that charged the family. Like, did he charge the family? Like, did he go out of his way to charge a family? Like, he saw them and he's like, I'm getting them? Or were they just, like, in his way? It's like, what constitutes charging
Have you
the
ever
family?
seen
Somewhere there's a
charge
cow
someone
being
before?
interrogated.
Yeah,
Like right now,
No, I
somewhere
saw
a
some
cow.
footage. I mean, first of all, they're big motherfuckers, you know? And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know why?
Is
'Cause
it
they-
a bull or is it a cow?
Well, I mean, isn't a bull a male cow? Like, what is
Exactly.
it?
A
I mean,
bull is
I'm
a male
talking
cow,
about-
Bulls,
yeah.
They didn't say bulls escaped. They said a
Yeah.
bunch of cows escaped.
Well, no, they were not like, they didn't look like mooing motherfuckers. They looked like, they've been locked up.
Maybe it's a Chick-fil-A
being pumped-
cow.
Yo, they've been pumped with fucking roids, ready for your dinner.
Hashtag mooing motherfuckers. That's
Mooing motherfuckers.
That's gonna start
We need,
trending.
that's a t-shirt.
That's
Mooing
mooing
motherfuckers.
No, they look strong, man. I saw some footage last night, so, you know. Whatever, man. I thought that was pretty crazy. I mean, I don't think we have to look hard to find crazy shit in the
No.
world, you know. And
So they wrangled 38 of them.
See,
killed one.
I
You're not
know what?
gonna-
I'm gonna
you're
get
not
this
gonna let this die.
information.
One cell. I'm just trying to see what.
Listen,
what
I'm
the,
gonna
what
get
the
some
current-
fucking rancher union from Pico Rivera hitting me up.
Ranchers
saying, if you're gonna
unite.
talk about us, know what the fuck you're
If you're
talking
gonna
about.
talk about
So-
us, you better bring one of us on.
Right,
on
I'm
there
already,
to
I'm,
talk.
already, I'm already running the risk of sounding incredibly ignorant, but I did think that was a crazy fucking story. The world is full of crazy stories
And crazy
That
cows.
is why we call the shit to cray. But our guests today are
Yes.
not crazy. They are amazing fucking people. They are friends of ours. I'm super pumped that my friend Ashley Benson is here.
Yeah.
I love her.
So hot.
She's one of the coolest people on the planet. People know her from Pretty Little Liars.
Spring Breakers.
Spring
Yes.
Breakers, amazing, and she's like a total entrepreneur and doing great shit. And then a close friend of yours, Shawn, who's amazing talent also.
A huge up and comer, kind of a hero in Glendale, Armin. He's done a huge album with Burner and Wiz Khalifa
Nice.
and a bunch of huge songs. And he's got a new album coming out with Nas, Offset, Quavo, and just a handful of names. But it's gonna be pretty cool. So he's in the building, and it should be pretty fun to sit down.
You know,
with these
hometown
guys.
hero just sounds funny with Glendale.
So we are
Brooklyn
so
Dodgers.
lucky to have my good friend, one of the new up and coming big guys in the game right now. He's one of Scott Storch's proteges, collaborators. What's the best
I
way to
guess
say
collaborator.
it? There we go.
Yeah.
My man Armin is in the
man.
building.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
We want to make sure we get that right. He was like, a collaborator. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
I'm contributing to this
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, he basically producing my whole upcoming project.
That's big.
But I mean, we independent. I got my own label.
Wow.
So, but he's a good friend.
Right,
and-
Pentagon Records, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Nice.
That's your label.
That's my label.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm just blessed to work with Scott. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
he really.
So how do
he's
you
really a
find Scott
genius.
Storch, or how does Scott Storch
I mean,
find
it was
you?
a process. You know what I'm saying? The first time I met him was in 2017 through his manager Steve Lobel.
Okay, big shout out to Steve Lobel.
Big shout out to Steve Lobel. We working. Everybody knows Steve. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And he always stayed tapped in with like the up and coming artists as well
Right.
as like the established ones.
Right.
So at that time he was managing Scott. He had just started managing Scott.
Okay.
And Scott, he was kind of gone for a while. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So obviously he ruled the 2000s. He was that guy, and then he kind of like disappeared.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
guys came to me years ago and they were like, "Yo, we want to do a biopic. We want to do like a kind
Mm-hmm.
of like a limited, fucking." What am I
Yeah,
saying?
like a
Like a
story
limited
on
series,
his life
like
type of thing, yeah.
basically on Scott Storch, and I was like, "Would he fucking die?" I'm like, "We're doing a biopic." Like the guy's like 27 fucking years old.
He's still alive. He's still
Yeah,
alive.
he's a little young for the biopic, and like,
Right.
But he was super polarizing. And I had met him. He came out to some entourage party we had in like a party / screening. The limited series, excuse me. I'm only in that business for fucking 30 years, you know what I mean? Show you where my head's at today. But we were having some entourage party out in like Malibu, and he came out, and he was fucking dope. But like I would hear crazy stories about him. That was super polarizing. So he's definitely an interesting guy, right?
Yeah, I definitely didn't know him at that time, unfortunately. I hear the parties was insane.
No, they were crazy.
Well, it was our party. I don't think it was as good as one of his parties. It was an entourage parties weren't exactly as crazy as the show would lead you to believe an entourage party.
Really?
No, seriously. I went to one of Scott's parties in Miami, and there was like Ligras, not tigers. They were Ligras, like walking around the house. It was crazy. It was some
What the
crazy
fuck's
shit.
a Ligra, bro?
Yeah,
A Ligra is
once you said not tiger,
a
after,
Ligra
it's like
is a
a
lion
hybrid.
and a tiger hybrid. They
Wow.
only
What are they, lab made?
Yeah.
no.
Were they made
A lion and a tiger will mate in like closed off proximity. Like if you put them together, they
in like a podcast booth like this?
Yeah,
Where they go?
I mean that won't happen in this booth. But yeah, like literally, if you take a tiger and a lion and you put them together, it's a Ligra. They weigh like 800 pounds.
Wouldn't it be
crazy.
a liger? Why ligra?
I thought he was
know. I
talking about the
fucking
shirts,
invented.
but that's La Tigra.
That's
Yeah,
a tigra.
right,
I
right.
used to love a tigra.
Hold that tiger?
Yeah, hold that
That's
tiger.
right, motherfucker. I had that shit.
But anyway,
Oh.
you cursed.
I just dropped my
See?
first F-bomb.
You
No,
I was about to ask
we
if we
should
could.
Are you
have.
kidding me?
No, not in here. I have not said one curse. I said with a hat squad. I have not
Since
cursed one time.
Armin sat down, you said it 4 times already.
He was
No,
sitting.
five.
Since we
5,
started.
right?
Right.
That's what I thought. Yeah, exactly.
5 times.
Guys, we're gonna go to the tape, and then I'm gonna go.
No,
crazy.
we need a curse jar. We need a curse jar
But people
for
need
us.
to understand is we cut together the first episode. Sorry, this isn't about you. We're gonna get right to you and ask you
no,
serious
go for it.
questions. But we're gonna have a quick digression
Let's
instead
do
of a
it.
commercial. A digression.
Okay.
But we released our first episode today. We're in the middle of doing we're in the process of doing our second episode. But I got a call saying that you curse too much. Like everybody at the network, the podcast, our platform.
My
Podcast
grandmother.
One.
My grandmother was like,
yeah.
my grandmother from South
Family
Carolina
members, his family
was
members.
literally
Right,
like,
right.
"Who's the gangster?
friends in
Who's the
Mercari.
gangster that's
Our friends in
cursing so much,
Mercari.
O'Neal?"
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna watch the curses. But let's get back to you and Storch.
Fuck it, yeah. Let's do that. No, but what were we saying? The Miami party. So he
Miami
was crazy. His life's been crazy.
Movie.
And he disappeared for a while. He had his drug problems and anything. So Steve Lobel kind of brought him back to the game.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying? He
right.
needed someone to kind of, be a good manager and who was connected with all the artists that he can bring him into the studio with him. So at that time, I just did like one record with him, which was like the first time for me working with like a big producer, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was really it, you know what I'm saying? I brought a little budget, got one beat,
Right.
got to know him, and I left, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when I got into the studio, first thing I did is I played a couple songs for Scott just to like kind of like let
Right.
him know who I am, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Because he really didn't know who I was.
Right.
before I
And
walked
these
in there.
ones, are you producing yourself? The ones that you played from, you're doing in your own
Yeah,
studio.
yeah.
which
This is
you
like,
have.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like, well, I don't personally make the beats, but yeah,
Right.
stuff that I had with my own team.
Right.
So the first song I'm playing, and he's like, "Yo, hold on, now I know who you are." He's like, "I've heard this song before," and it was a song I did with Game called Los Angeles. And, that got a little love at the time. It was my
Right.
biggest song. It got a few spins on Power 106 here and there. So, all the blogs picked it up. So I'm thinking, like, he heard it. He's like, no, not like that. He's like, 2 different people played this for me on your behalf, asking me to work
sick.
with you.
Oh,
You
wow,
know what I'm
that's
saying? And he's like, first is the first guy was my business partner in the cannabis game. His name is Alex. He played it for me, and I'm like, I don't know Alex,
Right.
but I've heard about this Alex because he's like a big business guy, a young hustler, big in the cannabis game. But at that time, I didn't know him personally. And then the second guy, which I won't name his name, but he was basically like a big street dude that had just
Right. So they gave you cred. You got
right,
solid
and they were
street
both
cred, right.
Armenian, which I am. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So basically, I looked at Steve Lobel, and I'm like, look, these are like 2 people from my community, 2 big people in their own worlds,
Yeah.
repping for me,
Right.
trying to make this guy work with me, and they don't even know me personally.
Right,
it's
right,
not like
right.
they're repping for their
Right.
homie.
That's
you know
a
what I'm
big
saying?
cosign.
Right.
Yeah, so that was crazy. I'm like, that's how my community got my back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they want to see me win. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, you're like a
So,
hero in Glendale,
It's
man.
crazy.
pretty
It's
cool.
crazy. I get a lot of
Well,
love.
the Armenian community in LA is super tight, man.
Super
Absolutely.
tight.
Yeah, I know-
Super
I know a
tight.
bunch of
Super
cats,
tight,
but
and
they really
in
roll
hip
together.
hop, there's really, of course, there's young people doing music all the time, but nobody really has gotten there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And no one's been doing it at this level. So anyway, I get a lot of love. So
Yeah.
Right.
fast forward, so we just did that song. Fast forward like maybe a year and a half, and I meet that same Alex guy. You know what I'm saying? That were in the cannabis business, because I was really working with Be Real from Cypress Hill.
Yeah,
a lot.
Love
Be Real is like my dog. You know
Fuck
what I
yeah.
mean? And he supported me big
Legend.
time. So Be Real was opening his first dispensary called Dr. Green Thumb out in Sylmar. So I really went to the grand opening to support Be Real.
Right.
But his partner was the same Alex. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. Okay.
So I meet Alex there, and Alex is like, bro, I've been your biggest fan for years, and he started naming all my old shit, this, that. Now I keep thinking if I shouldn't cuss, but I could cuss, right?
No, you
Just
can
not
do
overdo it.
You're all good.
Rob
You can
can't
say
cuss.
whatever.
You
He's-
can't cuss.
He's in
We cool.
detention. Yeah, you're all good.
Frankly, people want me to talk less because I say too much.
To make a long story less long, I started, linking up with Alex, who's now officially my partner. But
Did you guys smoke that night at the dispensary opening?
yeah, of course.
I didn't know if it was a night off. I was just asking. Okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, we smoke, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so Alex kind of reconnected me with Scott because they're really close.
Nice.
And he's like, look, man, this is really our guy. Let's like really get in and work, not just
Right.
give him a beat here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like really, let's work.
Right.
So, another song led to another song, led to a whole project, and here we are.
How is that for you? Because it takes a lot of artists a long time to get to a point.
And sometimes
to
they never
work
get
with
there.
respectable
Right.
artists, and sometimes they never get
Right,
there.
right,
And I'm just
absolutely.
looking at, you work with French Montana, you work with Nas, Quavo, Offset. Like, how is that process?
Yeah, so
for you?
all of those are not out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, just-
But
just-
no,
just-
it's cool. No, I've mentioned
okay.
I've mentioned most of them. I hadn't mentioned French. I guess that's exclusive. Y'all just got.
Oh, we got it.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it obviously took years. First of all, you know what I'm saying. Just you got to put in the groundwork, perfecting my craft, whatever, and really just finding that team and finding my lane. And finally, things started
And you
rolling
stay
and
real
doors
to who
started
you
opening.
are,
At
like-
the end of the day, yeah, it's all about staying consistent and
Yeah.
staying true to who you are. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, since all of that kind of happened from our new partner with Alex that I was just talking about to working with Scott Storch, and then slowly all the doors just started opening. You know what I mean? So that's also how I met Burner. So I did a whole album with Burner. Burner's the founder of Cookies.
Yeah, I know.
Cookies,
Right,
cannabis
yeah.
brand, but
Oh,
he's
yeah.
also an artist. So I went on
Yeah.
tour with him right before COVID. And then Burner's like, yo, you dope as hell. Let's do an album together. He does
That
that,
was
a
a
lot,
sick
though.
album, too.
He's a big artist, like way bigger than me.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that project
crazy.
is called The Warning, so that's out. That's me and Burner. But like, yeah, he does that. He does like joint albums in between his solo albums a lot. Like he's done a bunch with like old people like Styles P. He'll do one with like Mozzie. He'll do a lot with like Be Real. So he's like, let's do an album. Like that's a huge look for me.
And that's
So-
real hip hop.
No, absolutely.
That's
and
real
then we got
hip-hop.
Wiz Khalifa on there. We had Be Real on there. We
Yeah.
got Dave East on the song.
Yeah, that's
you know,
right, that's
Styles P
right.
was actually
Yeah.
on the song, so you know. And I'm, I come from like I'm like a lyricist type dude. Like I love hip hop and the art of it and all of that. So to get like the stamp or like the love from those. Like
Those
you
kinda-
just said,
yeah,
Nas.
right.
Nas my favorite rapper. That was my
right.
best day of my life. But
Yeah.
even like Styles P, even Be Real, like, yo, when they say like, yo, you really, really nice. Like, joke, like that means a lot,
Right.
And I
right,
know
that's
those
cool.
guys. So for them to even jump on a record, they don't do whack shit. Just be clear. They don't do whack
Yeah.
shit. But obviously there's a lot of different genres of music out there. What did hip hop do as a whole for the world that a lot of music didn't do or couldn't do?
I mean, hip hop is literally the most powerful, like, uniter, if that's a word. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
right.
hip hop is just so powerful, and I feel like, obviously, it started from a place of oppression. You know what I'm saying? And slowly, everyone that was not from ghetto America started relating to it as well. I was born in LA, but I was just telling you off the air, I grew up in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. So, but like I could see how it is in Europe still to this day. Maybe they love it even more over there as far as like the pureness.
Lost
Yeah, man.
Angel, right?
Yes, sir. So
Yes,
it all
armies.
started with that song that I did with Game called Lost Angels.
Right.
And we did like
You know
clothing.
that was a dope movie, man. Back when I was a kid, with Ad Rock from the Beastie Boys. Fucking
Oh,
Lost
really?
Angels.
I had no idea about that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it was a cool fucking movie, man. It was one of those movies that made me
before-
want to move
before
to
our
LA.
time,
That's
man.
before our
Yeah,
time, but we
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
dig back.
You were like
check it
one.
out.
You were one minus.
He was like missed.
Yeah, you were like
Yeah.
no,
He
you
was
were
missed.
You
He
were
was
none.
missed. You were none.
You wasn't
You
even
exist.
thought of.
20,
I wasn't
20
even
none.
thought yet.
It wasn't even a
None.
thought.
Yeah.
Like mist in the air.
Yeah, I did this song which led to like us doing a clothing like
Right.
merch basically.
Right.
And as an independent artist, music ain't making money yet, so
Right.
you're trying to find different hustles.
course.
So we really got into the merch game heavy.
Right.
to the point where we had got our actual store, and this logo was like for that
Right.
Lost Angel. So since we already had that branded and the opportunity to be in the weed game came up, we should just start with that. So that's our first strain.
But wait a minute, let's talk about this song King James featuring Jeremiah.
Yeah, I just that was one of the early songs I did with Scott Storch, and I don't know why that beat made me want to call it King James. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we wrote the hook with this writer, and I did my verses, and then Jeremiah, he lives right down the street from Scott, at least his old house. So I'm like, yo, we should get Jeremiah on this, and Scott's like, yo, he lives right down the street, and we literally just drove down and played it for him, and we drove back up, and he recorded it.
That's
cool.
cool.
And then, you know, Lakers was in the finals last, what was it, like October, right?
Yeah,
The season was
yeah.
all off. And I'm like, well, we got to drop this now. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
right,
Like, I wanted to
remember.
drop it before COVID. Like, I was thinking during the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then COVID shut everything down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
everything was canceled. And then the Lakers were doing good when it came
Right.
back. I'm
Right.
like, we got to drop it right
Yeah.
now. So we dropped it, and then ESPN picked it up.
That
And
was
we won the
sick.
championship.
That
So it
was
was
sick.
crazy.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
big.
so
Yeah.
And that's,
it's
you know, that's what I
really
love
Yeah,
about
man, that's
I
just
love
good
about hip
timing.
hop too. The fact that you just said, you know, Jeremiah lives down the street. You guys got in your car, went, got him, and he just jumped on the record.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
that's
dope.
dope.
Jeremiah's dope, and then we did the video a few months later. That's out too. So yeah, that's my biggest song to date. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love that song. I listen to it all the
Yeah, it's
time.
dope.
I got some
It's
really big
catchy.
ones on the way though.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward
Dope,
to it.
man. Instead
And
of
then
like,
you guys, because
you
I know
know.
you guys have you have a store as well, a merch store.
Yeah.
You guys kind of crossed it over and did did kind of like a collab between the two, right? The
Yeah. So what
nonprofit
happened
and
with
the
that
clothing
first
line.
song, "Open Wounds," is really you know, we created this T-shirt with it
Because
called
I
"Our
remember
Wounds Are
everybody
Still
was
Open."
wearing it during
Yeah.
during one of the annual march.
It
Everybody
became
was wearing it.
throughout, you know,
was
over
like
the
a
course
symbol.
of like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
That shirt just blew up. bottom
Right.
line,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The shirt became bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone in the community,
Exactly.
but also we reached out to all of our contacts in the hip hop game. So we had a lot of celebrities.
Yeah, a
like,
lot of people
wear
were
it,
supporting
post
it,
it, hold it.
yeah.
Everyone from, you know, the game was.
What
the
does it
first
say? It
one
just
from-
says Open Wounds?
It says
I think
"Our
you guys
Wounds Are
gave me
Still
one,
Open."
right?
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
gave
we
you one.
got it here.
It
Yeah,
says
I'm
"Our
gonna wear
Wounds Are
that
Still
shit, and
Open."
somebody's gonna come past me. Bro, get over it, man.
Someone
get
is
over
gonna
it.
ask you, but that's
I'm gonna be like, nah, man. This is for Armenia.
that was basically the whole point, because it's kind of
Yes.
like a item
I see. I
that can
got you.
that can
Yeah, that's
educate.
cool.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just a dope shirt with a powerful
Yeah.
message, and then it has the year on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we just created the new version of it in the same lettering. It says "We Are Still Here,"
Right.
because we feel like instead of making it like a negative thing, we're turning it into like what we just saying, like the new
Yeah.
generation. Our mentality is like, now we survived
Right.
it. You know what I'm saying? So
I think it's important, man. I think it's important for people to keep their eye on sometimes the bigger picture, right? And I think if the pandemic served people the right way,
Right.
it was to come out with your priorities in line and look at life a little bit different and look at your blessings, count your blessings, right? And prioritize how you want to spend your time.
No, I totally
sure,
agree
man.
with Rob.
As you get older, you constantly want to challenge yourself, push yourself in different
course.
directions. You know what I mean? And try different things. I mean,
Try new
henceforth,
things,
why I'm like episode 2 of a fucking podcast. You know, like I never thought I'd be like a pod. Like, well, you know what I mean? I wasn't like in.
Took me
school
2
for
years
this.
to convince him to do this.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
because
crazy.
I'm like, all right, like, and then you get to
Podcast
some point.
is the game right now.
Right?
Yeah,
There
but you
go.
get to some point, you kind of go like, you know what, like, yeah, like what's the point of life? You know, trying shit, right?
You gotta
Doing
try shit, of
things and
course.
having fun.
Yeah.
And for me, the only thing I just look at is I go, I want to know I'm going to enjoy it. If I could actually make money at it, it's even better. But if I can enjoy it,
That's
That's
And-
always
and
been
it's
my
not
life's
toxic,
mission, just
yeah.
doing what you love. You know what I'm saying?
I've been blessed. I've
It's
been
so
able to do
difficult
that,
not to.
man.
Right.
It's so
Yeah.
difficult to
Yeah.
like not like your job or not how you make your living,
Yeah.
not like how you make your living.
Well, it's tough. I think now the game is, and again, you know, you could probably talk about this because you have so many friends that are just creative in different communities. But I think now, part of the blessing of being an artist is you're not looked down on if you have different revenue streams. Like when I came into the game in film, it was like if you were a writer director of film, you were a writer director of film. You didn't fuck with TV.
Right.
You weren't like, oh, I'd also like to act, or I'm a painter. Like,
Yeah.
Like if you were super successful, like,
Right.
you know, if you were David Lynch, you could have an art show, or if you're Dennis Hopper,
Yeah.
you could have photography. I'm talking about the guys who were successful when I came into the game, right? You know, older guys, the elder statesmen. But they could do it. But the young guys, they wanted you like on track, and then they would box you into, oh, you made a gangster film. You make
Make the
gangster
gangster
films.
film.
You're a
Yeah.
drama
And
guy.
see,
Scorsese.
Yeah, it wasn't. And then like And like guys who were doing commercials had to do them in Europe, right? Lost in Translation, the Sofia Coppola movies about Bill Murray goes over there and do like a Japanese whiskey hibiki kind of thing, right? An ad for that. But now you could do whatever. It just doesn't matter.
But
man.
old
Hollywood
Hollywood
changed in film too.
Old Hollywood used to be like
dude,
that.
we
It'd
did
be a triple threat.
Right.
But we did Entourage. We made Entourage like when we went into it. We're like, dude, we're shooting short movies. Like we want cinema.
Yeah.
Every week we want to make it feel cinematic. Like because
And
we
always
were
there.
all filmmakers.
Yeah.
Right.
Doug Ellen had made features, right? I made one. Larry Charles made one. Everybody's kind of. Thanks, bro. But it was like, it was just kind of like, how do we elevate our work? We weren't like looking to elevate a genre or a medium, but it was like, how do we, elevate what we're trying to do? Like we weren't like, oh, let's do their style. We were like, let's do our style. So I think, it's just changed. Yeah. I think social media obviously has a lot to do with that. Opportunity has a lot to do with that. People want to get paid.
That's what it really is.
And it's
there's
like
so much more opportunity out there. For music, I mean, it's also so much more saturated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody raps. There's probably like 5 rappers in that room right now.
Right. That's next. I'm doing that next, bro.
I'm sure. And a lot of people that create like a following with something else.
Right.
Influencers, then they want to rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of that.
Now all the influencers are trying to box.
But
now they're all trying to fight.
I like the idea of being able to do more than one thing. If you look at old Hollywood, you had to know how to sing, dance, and act. If you look at Judy Garland, Sammy Davis Jr., all the greats, they did different things.
Well, because they were performers, and a lot of them really were really strong in the music dance department. So, like the whole Rat Pack vibe, like with a bunch of musicians, entertainers, right? Showmen.
Yeah.
And women. And then, like, they would go and then do movies, So it'd be like they would seize the opportunity to become film stars. But I think,
love that.
It's amazing. I think, but now it's like I'm a singer. I have a weed brand. I'm
T-shirts.
also like
the whole world is more
I'm the face of
entrepreneurial
it.
now.
Yes,
right.
yes,
And
yes.
even the young kids are being raised with that mind state way more than just go to college, be this, be that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
and
Man.
Shark Tank on
What do you mean?
TV.
I have a 5-year-old son. There were people in my house last weekend. He sold everything in his bedroom, man.
There you go. That's
He's got
crazy.
like Murakami's on his wall. He's like $5. I'm like, those aren't $5, bro. What are you doing, man? I'm like,
What's so crazy? What's crazy? You're right, because I was Sean P. Diddy Combs' wardrobe stylist for a long time, and know French very, very well. But I remember from like the beginning stages of Puffy, starting. He was a dancer. He was a producer. He was a rapper, and his theory was, if I can make you dress like me, wear my cologne, dance to my music, get you to the club, drink my drink, I just kind of created the narrative of your night, and that's what this generation is about, trying to create the narrative to your life.
He was ahead of the game for sure.
Oh yeah, I got a chance to watch it up close and personal. And even looking at your T-shirt is very reminiscent of all of us running around New York City that just said Sean John, London, Paris, New York on the T-shirt. And I remember being in the marketing meeting and Puff was like, put London and Paris on it because it just sounds fly. You know what I mean? Like none of us had ever been there. It was like, just put London and Paris on it.
Stores yet.
There was no London, Paris, nothing. But he was like, put London and Paris and New York on it. And he said, makes it sound international. And everybody wore it. So that's kind of like the mindset of the entrepreneurial mind of the hip hop culture, which I love. So.
For sure.
Well, you sell a dream, man.
You got to.
If you can't sell a fucking dream, then, then you're just living in a nightmare.
Bars.
Bar. See, you have a future in rap. That was a bar.
Yeah.
That was a bar. I'll buy your album.
Man.
I would buy your album.
We got to get Rob on
need
a
some
feature
help.
on the
Put
new
you on a
album.
group text. Scott Storch, you need some production.
Looking for a hip hop mentor.
Yeah, I see it. I feel it. Our camera guy
I
just
can
came
write
in.
lyrics all fucking day, bro. I can write anything, man. I hate writing, but I can write anything.
I love this motherfucker right here.
Except for like a legal brief. Actually, I could write a legal brief. We've been working on
a few.
a couple legal briefs coming out. About to drop soon.
You got some experience.
You drop your tracks, we drop the legal brief.
There you go. There you go.
We drop just some letters.
But no, this is dope, man. Shit.
Oh, I mean, man, thank you for joining
Thank
us,
you, brother.
You know,
Thank you
anything
so
you want
much.
to talk
Appreciate
about,
it.
anything we didn't hit?
Not at all.
The fits
stay
look
tuned. I
dope.
got a
Thank
lot.
you for that.
Yeah,
Thank you for the fucking
everybody
weed.
listening, make sure to check out the Pentagon LA store online. Armin's new album coming out is going to be fire. And of course, we're gonna be
Come
doing
on,
some
you
of
got
this
it. You
too.
got it.
Angel,
Yeah,
try
Los
it.
Angeles.
We getting
Did
high
I
tonight.
really have to lift
High
that to
tonight.
be with the two of you guys? Because it just my hand went like this, and my hand just went corny. Corny. Corny.
corny.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do
Corny.
it. Don't do
Corny.
it.
That's funny.
Yo, you say his name so much cooler than I say. I say Armin, and you
There
went
you go.
Armin.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he said like,
been saying it
he
for-
put the
I
remix
Like
on
as
it.
an MC
He put the
sometimes,
remix
so I
on
know
it.
how to. Yeah.
You can say R-mean. That's like
R-dash
That's
mean.
right.
the
There you
dash.
go.
Dash
No, I
me.
saw that. I like
There you
that.
go.
there you go.
R-dash
Got it.
mean.
Yeah. He said like
like
Barry
that.
White. He's like,
like
oh,
it.
that's me.
I fucking love Barry White.
I know you do, dude.
I got a sick Barry White story someday. I'm gonna tell
Oh, you got to
man.
share it because I love Barry
Someday.
White. I love Barry White.
Bro, it's a big name drop story. I got to save it for a whole separate.
Okay,
whole
okay,
separate
cool,
thing.
cool.
But it was a good learning lesson story, man. Remind me to
funny.
tell it on next
Okay,
one.
Sounds
Funny as
good.
shit.
Yeah.
My man, appreciate you.
Yes,
Thanks
yes,
for coming on.
Armin.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having me.
much.
My man.
You got to come back
Boom.
again soon.
Absolutely.
Yes.
When the
All right.
album's out, I'm gonna come back.
Sounds good. Perfect.
yeah.
The Cray.
Yes, sir.
Going on break.
We're going on break.
Ash, what's
What's
happening?
up?
Thanks for joining us here.
Yeah, we started off really cool with an earthquake
We
that we
did.
didn't feel.
So, Ash, what's up? You were supposed to head to Vegas tomorrow. You're not heading to Vegas.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Vegas. I'm not going.
You're like sought after. People want you to show up to big events. That was obviously the opening
Really?
of the Resorts World. Are you serious? Of course they do.
Yeah, no big deal. Just kidding.
No, I mean that's amazing.
No, yeah,
for like
I definitely
a hotel.
want. No, I definitely want to go. It's just I have things to do tomorrow, so. you
Yeah,
know.
well, we all have things to do tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I'm just not a big Vegas person.
Right.
Like I'm just not like, and it sounds so fun, but just the stress of it and like
It's too
I
much-
don't know.
it's too
and
much
there's
of a
too many.
production.
And I
It's
think
a
for
lot.
me too,
It's a
like
lot.
just coming from COVID world, it's too many people.
And it's like wide open right
Yeah,
now.
like
too.
I just went to this thing, like this past week, this like gay rave. Okay,
yeah, I
there
saw.
was
I
like
saw it on your
fucking
Instagram.
10,000 people.
Oh, no, I didn't
standing
see
outside
that.
La Cienega, like crazy shit. I went in like it was kind of cleared out. They weren't letting a lot of people in, but like I just sat outside the whole time because I was like I can't even be around these. Like it was giving me so much anxiety.
Yeah, it's just
and
too
I'm a social person. I love to go out
Right.
and do that shit, but I'm
But
just
you
like
good with,
it's
like-
just too new.
Right.
For me.
Still.
You
yeah.
like the dinner party thing, like
I
the
love
thing
going
you
to
did
like
the
my
other
thing
night.
is like dinners.
Oh, I love dinner.
Me
I
too.
love a long
Right.
dinner. I love like just conversation. I hate when I can't hear people. I
Right.
hate being like stuck in a fucking small
course,
space.
yes.
And it's like you're not even having fun. I'd have to get fucking completely wasted to like have a good time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
When I tell
agree.
people I hate Vegas, they look at me like I'm crazy.
I don't like Vegas either. I
like
like
Vegas.
Vegas for 24 hours,
Yeah,
more than
that's-
24
that's-
hours.
I call it a 2-day town. But yeah.
It's like
24 hours,
Two-day
you know.
town if there are events. Like when we went for the UFC thing
Yeah.
for the what's it called? What the fighter
The
weekend? What is it?
International Fight Week.
Like when we went for fight week, it's like and you're kind of packed in. I mean, I was stuck there in 9 days shooting an Entourage episode, man. It got really disturbing when I would be out and I'd be like, all right, I gotta go home and then go to my like suite at like the
Yeah,
Hard
it's-
Rock and I'm
it's
like,
like,
I
when
can't
does
believe
the
I'm
party
home to
end?
shit my
Right.
home, you know?
Yeah.
It's really fucking weird, but I feel you on it. I don't like to gamble, so for me, it's kind of like, and I get like pissed if I lose money, and it's not because I'm like cheap, because I'll spend money, but something about losing
about
money.
losing
I
money.
feel like
Me
such
off.
a
Throwing it
sucker.
away.
Because I
It's
play
just-
blackjack and like I'm actually pretty good, but then I get like cocky and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I fucking lose it, and it ruins my day. I have to go home. Like I literally have to end my trip. I
Yeah.
get in the worst mood because I just like, it's just annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like, you know what I mean? You'd rather spend it, you'd rather give it away than give it to them. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? My dad worked a lot with Vegas, so I remember being like 15 years old and me and my friend kind of like snuck into the casino. I remember what dog shit casino let us gamble. We each won like $200-$300 and we were like, Dad, look, we got to come here all the time. My dad was like, look, at the time we were with him, I think it was like the Dunes or something. And he was like, look around. You like all the chandeliers? I'm like, yeah. He's like, they didn't come from the winners. You know what I mean? Of course. So you learn the lesson.
There's not many
Yeah.
winners there to be
But
dealing with,
listen,
yeah.
you know, we're in this town and we know some pretty high roller gamblers who do well and make a living at it, but they're professional gamblers and that's their
Yeah.
business. You know what I mean?
I can't do it. I hate losing money. I hate losing,
Same.
period. But losing
Right.
money in Vegas just feel like one giant STD. It's just like I just stepped into a
Yeah.
vat of herpes. It's like
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's just
Yeah,
fucking disgusting.
I don't know. I think they cleaned it up a lot, but I mean, you'd have to literally. There's no price on how much to put some pool water in my mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
At some day club. You know what I mean? They did a test on shit. We'll say.
And now they got like
save
nude
it
day
for-
parties, so it's like
Nude?
In Vegas?
In Vegas?
Shut the fuck
Yes,
up.
there's one Like I know there's one at the Mirage, I think, called Bear, or is that
Well, what are they
Caesars?
doing? Like European stuff?
We'll have to have Steve look into that. But yeah, no, it's
do that-
just
Like, are they
it's
in
like,
the pool? Like,
yeah,
naked?
it's like nude, or
Yeah,
it's
but
like
you could do that
topless and
shit at
nude.
the Mondrian.
Can you?
Yeah, of course. It's European. It's
Oh, I
European.
didn't know
So
that.
like you
Oh,
could be.
really?
yeah,
I've
you could
never
be
seen
topless
anybody
at
nude at the
Mondrian.
Mondrian before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
yeah, they have them.
We
Like,
could really digress on this conversation. But like, when you were gonna go, is it a piece of business though? Like they want you to go to help launch something. So I'm imagining like, because I know you're super entrepreneurial.
It's the new like
Resorts World.
Yeah,
Resort
that.
World,
okay.
Which
Flew out of
looks
Malaysia,
it looks
right?
great.
It's gonna
like,
be
it
cool,
looks,
yeah.
I can't wait to go.
Right.
But like it just came out of and especially
way
like
too
during
much of
the
a
week,
scene tomorrow.
it just
yeah.
came at a bad time.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
But I can't wait. But I'm also just like, I want to wait till like things calm down or like I get used to
Yeah.
big crowds. Like,
I kind of want to wait till like the second wave of this pandemic because it's gonna come back. It's gonna be fucked
Well,
up.
now they got this
think
new
so?
thing. But you're
I hear
vaccinated.
I'm not
that,
vaccinated.
yeah.
That's my issue.
Oh, you're
I
not?
thought you got
No,
vaccinated.
we tried to get Ash vaccinated. Remember?
No, but I thought you told me you got vaccinated.
No.
But you also had COVID.
No, so I had COVID, but like I have antibodies still. But again, I'm not going to rely on that. I have to make my appointment. I've just been like,
Oh, you guys?
Well, you
vaccinated?
don't like
Yeah,
medical
we went
procedures.
back-
I
vaxxed
hate
together.
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh.
after you do it, you're happy because I
No,
know
yeah,
you had
I mean,
one
I'm
medical
probably going to go
procedure.
this
yeah.
week to get my shot, which is why I didn't go because I
You
don't
called
want
us the day we got vaxxed.
Yeah, I
You
know,
were
and
the
I was
first
like,
people
what
that called.
happened?
Yeah, you're like, you guys
Yeah.
alive?
How'd you feel?
Did you guys grow
But
any abnormalities?
But like, and that was the thing. I think I was just kind of waiting to see what the vaccine was, doing to people. Like
Right.
for me,
Yeah.
with like fertility and stuff, I heard that you can't have kids.
Yeah, I heard that
So
too.
I was worried about that.
What is that based
My
in?
doctor
Like,
said that it's not true. I just called
well,
her the other
obviously
day.
it's
I was
not
like,
true. There's nothing. There's no.
But I'm a
science to
hypochondriac, so
support
I
I'm
think
the
of
same
everything.
way though. I'm
Me
the
too.
Same way. Yeah.
Like I mean, again, like when I was your age, I was the worst. Now you start to get older, you start to accept the inevitable.
Yeah, it's
that
like,
we're all dead anyway.
like, give me the vaccine.
So you're only here, but you're only here on borrowed time.
Borrowed
The older
time.
you get, the closer you get to it, you go like, yeah, it's coming. It's like nobody's getting out of this fucking place alive. That's
No,
just
my
a fact,
my boy
you know?
won't get it. He's like the vaccine is like the iPhone.
I mean, the
He
main
was like,
reason
there's
I
gonna be
even
a
got
bad
it-
patch.
Bullshit, man. These guys who didn't get the vaccine, they put me on a fucking text thread today. He's
Yeah.
like, they put out some article about people who got Moderna and Pfizer. Now there's a warning about like swelling of the heart, right? So you guys, and they're like, "Oh, you see," and I go, "Guys, there's not one single medicine known to mankind,
Doesn't
any
have a side
pharmaceutical
effect.
that does not have potential side effects." I mean, Jesus Christ, you can watch a fucking medication for diarrhea. The last side effect for it is potentially diarrhea. It's like it doesn't matter what
It doesn't matter.
Dude, did you ever see the list of shit that you could get from a medication that prevents psoriasis?
Oh, my God.
I mean, like seizures, cancer.
Your
hear
arm
about the
falls
commercials.
off.
Keep
You
up
hear
to
about the
it.
That's the
commercial.
thing. Like when I
I'm
watch
like,
a
that
commercial, like,
sounds
bro,
like
I'm
the
never gonna
worst
fucking take that ever,
Right,
ever.
ever,
Yeah.
Ever.
unless I had to. But I'm like, no, I'm good.
I mean,
Yeah,
there are
like-
so many side effects. And the craziest thing is the placement. It's the narration that says the side effects over the most beautiful images of like families picnicking and guys clipping flowers.
Yeah, and then it's like diarrhea, blindness,
seizures,
stroke,
tumors,
Yeah.
collapsing in your
Yeah.
bathtub. It's like the weirdest
Like, what's gonna
shit.
happen if those
Yeah.
side effects hits this guy while he's by himself, sitting on top of a hill in the middle of nature, enjoying a picnic? Like,
Every-
what's
it
gonna happen
comes
if he has
down-
And you
cancer
shit
all
on
of a sudden?
yourself.
Yeah,
You have a
exactly.
seizure and you shit on yourself.
But don't you think everything comes down to the risk versus reward, right? You go like you look at yourself, you got psoriasis, you go like I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Like I hate it. I hate the way it looks. I hate the way like it fucking feels. I mean, I don't have it, so I can't get specific about it. But like I think that people then have to make that choice, and that's with everything, man. Think about all the cosmetic surgery. We live in a town with it. There's potential shit that could go awry with everything. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're super. I was gonna say you're supernatural. You obviously, you know what I mean. You're not
You're
like
super-
Yeah, I'm
Supernatural.
scared to have anything in my body.
right. So that's a good thing. So
That's a
like,
good
but I'm
thing.
saying like, the hypochondria has kept you totally organic, right?
It's the way to go.
There you
Just
go.
kidding.
It is.
Whatever you
but
wanna
it's
do.
interesting because you get to a certain place, and I see it. It's like, where people, they just, I don't know, something changes. It changes in their mind, and then and then it changes the body and it
Yeah.
changes the face. So
Yeah.
But I am gonna get
Let's see.
vaccinated. I'm gonna get it.
I don't watch myself on this. I don't watch myself in episode 1 because I can't like watch myself in something, and I can't listen to myself. And there's probably people who are listening to this going, "Well, dude, I can't listen to you either." But so like fucking so like, but if I start to watch it just for the sake of editing and being a part of the actual process of it, I could very easily come in here with like chin implant and fucking you're like, what the hell did he do to himself, man? I'm like fucking.
That's what
filler
happens.
everywhere.
One
Of
thing.
course.
It starts with
That's
one
fast.
thing.
And then you
that's
keep
funny.
going.
Keep going. Keep
Yeah.
going.
That's funny.
But that's also why, and I mean, for me too, I just feel like, especially just because people know my face so well, just from
Right.
like, you know, being on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
If I did one thing, I know, like, and I would own up to it, obviously, just because there's no point in,
But
you
you're
know,
naturally
lying.
great.
If you want to, like, do shit, fucking
Yeah.
do it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
so
100%.
for it.
Yeah, that's your right. That's your
Like,
right.
I think if you feel great, dude, fucking do it. But I always just laugh because I'm like, if I did anything, it would just be so noticeable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
just
but
feel
that's
like,
why I think what happens is like people start really small, like you start with a little Botox, you know what
I
I
got
mean? Your
Botox
lips.
once.
I've never
I've
gotten
done
anything.
Botox.
Yeah, I got
I've never
Botox
gotten
times,
But I like the
anything.
girl who was giving me the Botox, so
terrified
that was
of
the only way I could go out with
it
her.
No,
just
I
feels
wish
like it
my
hurts.
ex
I hate
liked it.
needles. Like, I love
Yeah, I've
tattoos.
never.
doesn't
Yeah,
hurt, man.
yeah. I
The
like that,
Botox
but I've
doesn't
never.
hurt that
I can't put like a needle in my face.
I could do it. I mean, I inject myself with shit. I'm like fine with it, man. I don't mind. No, I've done Botox. It's great, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? But I mean, you know, it doesn't last very long, you know what I mean? It's kind of like
I'm
gone
getting to
like
the age.
that.
I'm
but-
like, I have to start, you know.
No.
But you should do it. You should that
stop.
no. I'm not saying you should do it because you need it, but I think I
No,
understand.
preventative.
Yes, I understand all people doing it, who kind of like are trying to battle the aging process a little bit. I understand them doing it as a preventative measure. 100%, I support that. You know, for a long time I didn't get it. Like,
Yeah.
like when I knew girls who were doing it, and I'm like, yo, you're like 25. You don't have a line
Yeah.
on your face.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's because I'm doing it. So, and then I saw it. Like, I did it a couple times, and I was like, holy shit, because I'll get, like, really deep there.
See,
And
I
then they'll
like
just
my
hit you with a-
facial expressiveness.
You
I
like
don't
it
want to
because
get rid of
Let
it.
me tell you something. You like it because you're fucking, what are you, 33?
33.
Yeah, come and see me if you like your expression in like
You're
20
65.
years. I'm like, you smile, and
You
your
smile.
whole face turns like
You
morphs.
shit look like George
Morphs
Burns.
into a series, like a road map, like a old school Thomas guide. No, everybody listen. You know,
each his
people
own.
do it. Yeah,
I
they
think it's
want to.
great. I mean, yeah. I'm too scared to get it, but
Yeah. Well, you know, so you mentioned like something, you know, I've been on shows and people know my face, yada, yada, yada. Obviously, you guys did like 100 episodes of your show, right? How many episodes? The thing was on for years.
like we did 7 years and 26 episodes a year.
Right. So that was that
Wow.
crazy grind because you and I have talked about projects,
So
you know
more
what I
than
mean?
that, I don't know.
Way more than
Yeah.
100 then. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's insane.
like a lot.
Yeah.
And how does that run in how does that run in syndication? Like where's that running? Where's this stuff? Is it on streaming platforms? What is
Yeah,
it?
it's on streaming like Netflix. Well, it was on Netflix. It's on HBO now.
HBO
and then
Max.
like,
HBO
Right,
Max,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
and then it's still showing in like other countries for the first time, which is so weird. I mean, it's been like 12 years or 10 years or something like that.
But you worked,
crazy.
so you know, because I looked at everything last time. I'm like, oh, I didn't know she did that. I didn't know she was on soap and like all these things and how you work your way up to get like a job like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which creates some stability, like big income, right? You're building a beautiful house. You're obviously super successful. We'll talk about some of the entrepreneurial stuff you do as well. But you do that. What's the effect of 7 years of work like that? Because I know how taxing it could be. But you're doing twice the amount of episodes that on Ballers. You're doing 3 times the amount that we did. We did 8 episodes a season.
Yeah.
Which isn't enough. Like it's not enough to really make money and to stay busy because it goes. You know what I mean? You just done shooting that fast. But 26 is so the opposite end of the spectrum where you just get this burnout. Like, what does that feel like to be in a character that long? And what do you think the recovery time is before you're willing to go back to another 20 plus episode season?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was great. Those 7 years were amazing, but it is exhausting me. We filmed 10 months out of the year. We only got 2 months off. It was really hard to do other films. The only film I got to do while on that show was Spring Breakers. Thank God I was able to do
Right.
that. But like, what sucked too is like after that came out, I was, you know, that movie was such a like crazy like cult kind of thing.
Yeah. Right.
And I got to meet a fuck ton of like super cool directors and writers who all wanted to work with me. But then I had 5 more years
On your contract.
locked, and so I
Right.
couldn't do anything. And like, you know, it is what it is. But
Right.
it's tiring. But after the 7 years, the day I wrapped, I moved to New York.
Oh, you did?
Right.
And I was
had it
only
all
going to go.
planned out already,
I mean, I was
yeah.
only going there for 3 months, and then I never came back for 4 years. Like I bought a
But
place there.
do you think a part of that is because I know you and I see all these different and again we just for clarity for people who watch this, we recently met. I feel like we met years ago, a bunch of times to these people, but I always felt like you were scared of me. Even if I saw Shay and you with Shay, she'd be super nice and then you'd just be like this.
Really?
And I was like,
I don't
I told
remember
you came to a fight night in my house. And I'm like, hey, and I was like, I was always like, and
Oh
I
my
said
God.
to somebody,
No, I remember.
And I said to Longo and guys like that, I'd be like, dude, is she freaked out by me for something? Because you know, I'd be like, hey, you big. Like this, but you are the dope. When I met you,
I'm
met you
shy.
again with our friend Holly Wiersma
Yeah.
up at the house. You're the coolest, most outgoing, easiest to kind of talk to kind of person.
Yeah, people always think that I'm a bitch, but I'm not. I'm just really if I'm in a new environment, I stay to myself and because I'm just I observe everything.
Yeah,
That's kind of my thing. But then if you get to know me, I don't stop talking. That's just kind of who I am. But yeah, I actually do remember that so vividly in my mind right now.
Yeah.
That night, because you had this little weird stair thing with an archway. Weren't you on not
Well,
Hollywood?
you've been
but
to my house
somewhere...
recently with the lower deck, but back then it was wood and it was
No,
the same
but
house.
It was the same
It was
house?
the same house, but it looked different because the lower deck hadn't been redone, and there were
But yeah, I
probably,
do remember that.
50 people crammed on this wooden deck.
Yeah.
That's now more expansive. But the thing I was
Because
saying
I was
about
with
you
Shay
was
and
getting.
Troyan.
Wait,
that
you know
night.
what? You with Shay and what?
Troyan.
Who's
She was
Troyan?
also on my show.
Oh, I thought it was just you and Shay, but who knows? It was 10 years ago. But my point is when I re-met you, it's clear you have what most creative people have, really good creative people. You have this dichotomy. One part of you fully understands the commercial world, right? And that presence of branding, you're involved in Privé Revaux, you're now doing Hemps, which is a product I even like.
I love that product.
You do that, but the move to New York, to me, there's a side to you that's still super grounded in the arts, right?
Yeah.
That's super creative, that wants to feel connected to maybe a legacy of more creative people.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I also just wanted to stop working. I was working. I'd been on TV shows since I was 12.
Oh, wow.
And I'd never lived anywhere else. I always wanted to be in New York. I just didn't have the opportunity. And I just feel for me, me as a person, I'm much more of a New Yorker. I don't like LA at all. I'm just being from here. I don't like the people here. I can't stand anyone.
Right.
My close friends are thank God, so cool. But it's just too much for me. And in New York, I just feel all my friends, they're either bartenders, they work at restaurants or construction. They're all fucking normal ass people, which is so nice. And then I have my actor friends or people in the industry, but I don't know. I just feel it's more of a. It
You
just
feel
fits
like
more
it's
of my
more
lifestyle.
grounded, more
yeah,
real.
I walk everywhere. I don't have to get followed
Right.
by paparazzi.
More
Every day I
authentic.
leave my
It's
fucking
more-
house.
It's a
I'm
more authentic.
like, dude, why are you?
Right.
But you know what? I feel
Photographing me,
like
it's
you
so
grew up
annoying.
in this, so it's a natural kind of transition to want to be there.
Yeah.
I kind of grew up in that.
Yeah.
Brooklyn to Long Island to Manhattan, school, night, promoting nightclubs, doing all the whole New York thing. I couldn't wait to get out here. For
Yeah.
me,
Do you feel like growing up in LA and being in the entertainment business at an early age, you kind of want escapism from Los Angeles to kind of get away from it? Do most celebrities feel like that?
I don't know. I mean, I did just because I just didn't like it here anymore. And I wanted to see, how, because I've always loved New York and I just felt like I would do better there. Just for my mental health. I just think, and you kind of start a routine there too. Even waking up in the morning, I have interactions with 500 people just to get my coffee. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I'm stimulated by that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
I'm the same way,
And also,
right.
I love to be alone a lot. And here, if you fucking eat at a restaurant alone, people look at you weird. I'm like, why can't people eat by themselves?
By themselves.
Yeah.
In New York, I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner by myself unless I have plans
Right.
with friends.
Right, right.
I just love doing that. I read scripts or read a book, do whatever, or just spend time
Right.
alone.
Yeah.
And then I've made friends with all the waiters and stuff, so we just hang. I'll go to a bar and literally just sit at the bar and hang with them all night.
Right.
Yeah, I like
it's
that.
so fun. Here you can't really do that. You know.
Everybody's gonna think, oh my God, I feel so sorry for her. She's by herself. She's having dinner by herself. She's having drink by herself.
Yeah.
You'll also
Maybe
be
you want to be
judged
by
here.
yourself.
If
No,
you're
you're
if
so
she's sitting
judged.
alone,
Yeah.
at the bar of Dan Tanner's.
Oh, yeah.
drinking,
Oh, forget
game
about it.
over.
It's
It's like
over.
she's
Yeah,
fucking
they're like,
depressed.
she's
What's
depressed.
happening?
Yo,
She's suicidal.
Yo, she's just sick.
Literally.
She's got a
What's
sick-
going wrong
she's
in their
got a
life,
sick
right?
alcohol
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
But in New York, you know, it's just so great.
I can remember living in New York and literally getting dressed to go out by myself.
Yeah.
And enjoying it. 'Cause I'm
I love
weird.
going out
Yeah.
by myself.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
so
I would
nice.
go out by myself in New York, but I also knew I was going to places where I was
You're gonna meet 1,000
to
people you know.
100 people I knew.
No, yeah,
know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
you do
Like,
know that,
but-
but like, if you have like your dinner, like whatever, and then go meet your friends, great. Or do it all, you know, whatever. But
Right.
I don't know.
What app are you addicted to right now? Like, what's your guilty pleasure? Are you addicted to?
Which one do you find yourself using the most?
Like in the middle of the night,
Right
you might
now.
wake up and you might
I
check it.
mean,
Raya.
fuck no, I've never been on a dating app. No, YouTube, because I'm like weirdly obsessed with ASMR. Like,
What is that?
yeah, what is
it's
that?
just like you watch. I mean, it's all different kinds of things, but my favorite thing is to watch these people just eat a ton of food. It's gross, but I spend hours. I watch
It's like
like
a fetish,
30
so
a
it's a
day.
fetish thing.
It's not that it's just like I'm like, how can you eat all this food? And like, I love food. I love to fucking
I'm a
eat. I
foodie,
eat
too.
all the
I'm a
time.
foodie.
I like
But
to see
you
what they're
think it's
eating.
fascinating that people could
Like chocolate
indulge-
Consume
No, they
shows.
eat like fucking 50 cheeseburgers in one sitting, and they're chilling. I'm like, yo, I'd
Really?
be sick.
I've never.
I know
heard that.
exactly what
It's
you're
my
talking
favorite thing to
never
about.
heard
watch.
this.
And then they put all this shit in their mouth. Like, how much can you fit in your mouth? Like,
I've
it's
never
just
heard
weird.
of it. I feel like that would
It's like
do me off.
sexual
of
and
food.
weird.
Dude, I'm obsessed
Like it
with
would
this
turn
one,
me off
this
from
one
food.
chick. She goes to KFC every day and drinks the gravy.
That's
She
disgusting.
drinks the gravy, and I don't know why, but I fucking watch it like nonstop every day. And she just parks in her car and she's like,
I love how
It's just-
you guys are just so fascinated by this. Rob and I are like,
No, it's
Yeah,
really
I'm
good.
like,
what is
If
this?
you watch
I
it,
have a
you'll
lot- I
be
have a
like,
lot of-
whoa.
I have a lot of dietary restrictions. I think I'd get sick just watching these.
yeah,
fucking
that
things.
sounds.
Yeah,
weird.
you'd be
I'm all
nauseous.
for like watching
It's
people
addictive.
enjoy food. But watching
It's almost
people,
like corn.
cram food.
Well, do you think
in a
like there's
gluttonous
so
way?
much crazy shit out there, right? I mean, like we
I
call
like-
the show the cray because I fucking honestly think the whole world's gone cray and like everything's got a little cray in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that sounds a little cray to me. No,
I mean, it's weird. Yeah. But it's my favorite thing to do.
So that's your favorite app is watching that stuff
Yeah.
on
I mean,
YouTube.
Instagram, whatever, but that's just like, I'm bored.
Well, all right. So
scrolling.
my question was that whose question was
That
that?
was your
That was
goal.
my
That was
question.
O'Neal.
You're done.
I'm done. I'm out of
That's
the
a,
game.
That's a wrap for O'Neal.
I'm just happy to
because
be
we
sitting
One
here
and done.
We're gonna have to name the
One and
episode.
done.
Yeah, three questions to Ashley Benson. That's the
it.
new name of the episode. So when I looked you up, I was like, oh, let me see some shit on Ashley so I could think what to ask her, and I saw like the 3 questions that are most searched about Ashley Benson.
Oh my God, let's hear it.
I'm
first
very
one is-
interested in
Oh my
this
God.
too.
The first one is, what happened with Ashley Benson and Cara Delevingne? Question number 2 is who's Ashley Benson's boyfriend? Or is Ashley Benson married? It's one of those two. And the third one is Ashley Benson with G-Eazy?
I love how they're all
those-
relationship.
yeah, all
oriented,
relationship.
all
They're
three.
They're all relationship things. So I'm like, well, I don't want to get in there because full disclosure, obviously I like Gerald.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
Cara,
love
but
Gerald. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually fucking dug you guys together.
Yeah.
I think he's cool as shit. So I don't want to like get in and go, tell what happened in your personal life. But I would say this. I was like, what's a smart question to kind of get on
That's
that
so
topic
funny.
to like throw it at you? And what I would ask is, when do you know it's over? When do you know a relationship is over?
I think you just feel it.
Right.
I felt it both times,
Right.
and I was right.
Right.
And yeah, I
But
don't
did
know.
the other person feel it too, or was
No,
it just a feeling for you?
No, I could feel. Yeah, I mean, when you're and like even with like me and Gerald, so like we dated in the pandemic, right? We were together every single day,
Right.
all day. We
Right.
we lived together, like that was it. And we had a great time, but I also think it was, anytime you get in a relationship when the world is shut down, obviously,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
all you
Well,
have.
everybody got in a
Yeah.
relationship.
Everyone did,
Right,
and then
right.
it's either gonna fucking go after, or it's
Right,
not,
right.
or things can you can reconcile
Right.
later. Like me and him are still friends, and we're fine and all that. But I just felt a distance, and also I went off to film 4 movies the second that everything opened up. I wasn't even in the country,
Right.
and so that's also hard because he can't come with me because COVID restrictions, all that stuff. So it's
Right.
like you spend 4 months apart, and I think just kind of knowing that, it just kind of went,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But
So
yeah,
it was
I
like
felt
it was the great pandemic love.
I mean, yeah.
I was
It really
totally
was.
solo during the fucking pandemic. I started dating somebody when it ended, and all my friends like, "What are you, a fucking moron, dude? You're supposed to have a girlfriend during the pandemic."
Well, dude, I
you know?
fucking got broken up with out of nowhere in the beginning of the pandemic. Left homeless. Like I sold my house, all this shit. I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't go back to
That
my
was
house in New
Cara,
York.
though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, so then I was living with friends for like 2 months, and then I wanted to record music about the breakup.
Right.
So I called Gerald, and I went to his house, and then whatever, we just like fell in love and I never left. But everyone was like, "You fucking
So
cheated
do
on
you
Cara
actually-
Delevingne." I was like, "Yo, I got broken up with. I would never." And like,
I
I'm
love how the
sorry.
fans always think they know.
No,
Yeah,
and
they
they're
know
like-
everything.
literally,
But
they're like,
do you
"What
actually
hate?"
fall in love with people, or do you fall in love with where they live and you get to stay?
Hell no. I have my own places, bitch.
You can tell him.
She's building a sick ass fucking house.
I've been
not
building-
far
this is
from
the
me
thing.
with a speakeasy
Yeah,
in it.
it's gonna be sick.
I would never ask somebody something that I couldn't ask myself the same question. So I said, I'm gonna ask her, when do you know it's over? And then I said, Rob, when do you know it's over?
Yeah, when do you know?
And
You're like-
I said to me, oh, it's never over. I said, it's only over when the other person gets married. If they get married
I
and have
agree.
a kid, I go, it's over.
That's kind of true.
Because
No, I agree.
LA,
That's fucking
Yeah,
smart.
That's
Yo,
very smart.
LA
Yeah.
is recycle fucking central.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love,
100%.
love
Yeah, 100%.
recycling.
Yeah.
And I also think just timing is timing. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
Like,
I agree.
100%. But that's a great excuse to re-hook up with whoever you're with. You're like,
Yeah.
it was just bad timing. What
Yeah.
are you doing now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then you do the same thing again. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, timing's still off. Let's,
What are you doing now?
let's check back in.
we'll check back in a
next
couple of months.
year. Yeah, we'll check back in. So that was my question. I
But
want
that
to-
is very true.
What is also I'm gonna say my question in 3 parts.
There you go.
what-
It's always in 2-3 parts.
What's like the pet peeve you have, like that other people do, like that a partner does? Is there one thing?
Chewing, like, just chewing loudly or talking when they're eating.
Right.
Spit your gum out, Rob.
I spit it out
Oh,
already.
okay,
I actually
good.
got
I don't
it.
mind that.
By the way,
But no,
by the
chewing
way, I was
closely or
appreciate
like,
it.
you know, or like eating, like I'll eat in bed if I'm like lazy, but like
Right.
crumbs, I'm such a
I will
no.
only-
Oh, I hate
Like,
I will
bro.
only, I will
I'm
only have
super
2 things in
OCD,
bed.
so I can't
I will
even- I
only
can't
have
even eat
two
in
two
bed.
items of food in bed. Early in the morning, I'll have a cup of coffee and like some kind of bar, right? You know, like a breakfast bar kind of thing.
That's his only meal for
And
the
then,
day.
yo, she knocks me because I never eat. I'm not
You
a big
don't.
eater.
It's
I know.
crazy.
People never see me eat. It's weird.
I've never.
But maybe I'm like, you know, like one of those.
You don't eat
closeted
food, man.
They'll have a
kids.
piece of salmon and it'll
No,
hold
and
them
then
over
like
the whole day.
nighttime, if I'm watching something in my bedroom, maybe I'll eat nuts. It's such a Jew move, like nuts and dry
I'm
fruits.
dead.
But I don't eat the dry fruits part. But I'll eat the like.
Sound like my
I'll eat
wife.
nuts.
Yeah, crumbs to me are. Oh, I can't. Anything with like anything
But
dirty.
bad chewing, like fucks you up. You can't listen to the bad chewing.
No, I can't.
I can't listen to nagging. I can't listen to nagging. I can understand it if I've earned it, but I can't listen to nagging and then I respond to the nagging. I go, I understand, and then I get renagged. Like that's it. That's in a relationship, you know.
Yeah.
But I think like I don't think anybody wants to listen to nagging. And then also
I just walk out of
in
the room. I'm like,
defense-
this isn't working right now. I'll
Right.
see you back in like an hour.
You see, that's smart.
Right,
That's
right.
smart.
That's
But
the
in
way to
defense of the relationships I've had, you know, and this isn't so that I don't catch shit, maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
But no,
Always
the
a
real,
little bit.
like I probably
Always a
deserve
little bit.
some of the nagging. So, you know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say anybody's a nagger, but I'm just not like, I don't love the nagging.
Yeah. I don't either.
So my question is,
I don't like
And
drama.
and
I don't like
and
drama.
And I don't like when I break up with somebody and they steal all my stuff.
Oh, I hate
like
that
that's
shit.
a big pet peeve.
Oh,
that
And,
hasn't
and I
happened to
also don't
me.
like when I'm dating somebody that I'm not really that far into
And they
dating.
take your shit?
And they steal all my old school rock and roll t-shirts, like all the old rock concert tees.
You're like, dude.
Gone. Like they just people just take them. Yeah.
no, my ex has a Rolex, and I want it back.
They're on the
No,
real-
I
it's on
bought
record now.
Rolexes for exes too.
Yeah,
too.
funny.
All right, yo.
So my question is not as you know crazy as theirs. So I heard that you had or might still have a fear of heights. Is this true?
The older I get, I just can't fuck with it. Like when I was younger, I was
That's
the
so
biggest
true.
daredevil.
Me
Now
too.
I'll throw up. I'm scared. I have anxiety. I have to take a Xanax. Like I'm like, what's happening? I can't.
That's so true.
If you
Enjoying
go
it.
with somebody like Ashley, because we talked about Disneyland, and you'll get like the person will take you around,
Yeah.
you'll get the guide. That's the craziest because I did that a million years ago with like a pack of like young celebrities who went to Magic Mountain and we got that treatment. And that's the craziest because you don't even have the downtime between rides.
It's
So,
like
like,
ride after ride after
Like,
ride.
they just walk
like-
you from one exit to the next entrance, and you just like got this
all
shit
should
kicked
go.
out of you. You're
We
going
should do
upside
that.
down.
We
You're
should, right?
driving.
We
And the
should.
fucking
People
photos
like
are
four
so
people that are
embarrassing.
Yo,
too
they're like-
terrified, but
yeah.
we're gonna do it
I look
anyway.
like I'm about to throw up in every photo, and
Oh,
then
yo,
everyone
that is
sees
the
it.
best- the
like,
best
I
part.
look
Yo, we should
crazy.
do that.
I'm
That
like,
would
this
be
is horrible.
hilarious.
No,
Dude,
we should.
I did a ride. We went to like Universal, me and a couple friends, and the whole time I was on something, I was like, yo, I thought I was just like this, and then like the picture came out and I was smiling.
No,
I was like, what are they
Universal and
doctoring
Disneyland
this
are like
shit?
real
I was like,
vibes.
Chill.
there's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
fucking-
yeah.
Magic
Yeah.
Mountain, I'm
Fucking
like, fuck no.
It's
I
too
also don't want to die on a roller
adrenaline
coaster.
inducing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
No, the
and
last
like
week-
you hear every
know,
month, like it stops
it's
at the
very
top or
unlikely
something.
you're gonna die, but you could very
stuck or
easily
something.
you could get traumatized.
Oh, dude, I got
like
trauma.
these motherfuckers who get stuck upside
That's
down.
what I'm
No.
saying.
Hours.
I had that experience. I was upside
Stop.
down and the harness went like this.
Stop.
And my friend held me, and thank God I had this thing that was strapped between my leg. But this, the thing that go over like this, when I was upside down, it said,
No.
dude, shit was literally oozing down my pants leg. It
No.
was fucking
Wait, what
insane.
happened? Literally, you shit yourself?
Yeah, I shit myself.
I would have
I
been
Literally.
throwing up.
Yo,
doing
this
It's
is
everything.
figuratively.
Yo, I was trying to figure out
That is
how
so
we,
fucked up.
I was trying to figure
Literally
out
and
how we were getting out of this episode, and you just made it so
There you go.
easy for us.
We were looking for that memorable quote from the
I mean,
episode.
it's great.
shit
Yeah.
myself.
You should-
That
I
was-
shit myself. There you go.
But like, that is
Ashley, we have Ashley
horrible.
Benson guesting,
Yeah.
and O'Neill's admission of shitting himself on a ride. But listen,
Makes
it
it
happens.
great.
It
It
happens.
It happens. I mean, yo,
To the best of
does
people,
happen.
not
Yes.
to me, but the
best of us and to the worst
some
of us.
the other amazing people on this planet. All right, let's hey, great transition. Thanks for sharing the shitting on yourself thing.
I had
two more
to
questions. Then we're gonna,
feel comfortable.
you feel comfortable.
I feel comfortable saying
I don't
that
want to
shit.
make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel comfortable that I can say that, Rob. With
That's
you.
great.
Of course you should feel comfortable,
Yeah.
bro. Dude, this is the fucking cray. Like, if we can't put...
You can't talk about
if
shitting
we-
yourself on the cray. Where can you talk
Yeah,
about
if we
That's
can't
what I'm
take...
saying.
I agree.
If we can't take your shit
Yes.
and put it on the table and unpack it all of your shit...
Then why are we sitting at the table?
What the fuck
I
are we here
agree.
for,
There
bro?
we go.
What the fuck are we here for? Yo, so shooting during COVID, man, what the fuck was
Yeah.
that like? Because I didn't get to do it. I just been unemployed, man. Dreaming of new ways to, create revenue streams, like see if I could actually have a podcast.
in quarantine, because like when you're used to working, it's just like, dude, a year of like
Right.
doing
Yeah,
nothing, and
nothing.
that's for everyone, right? So I did a lot of like writing in my spare time. I wrote a script with two guys, filmed that in January.
That was the Big Bear.
and Big Bear. And with COVID, I mean, it's so crazy. You get checked every single day. Everyone has to wear a mask. You can't
Right.
eat. You have to be separated, like in your own rooms. You can't even talk to people. I mean, it was the most
Yeah, I
crazy
spoke to
experience.
you. You were in London. I think we.
Then I went to
FaceTimed you in
London. Like
yeah.
I wrapped that movie, and then I came back to LA, and then I got a call that I got another film, and I had to leave within 2 days for like a month and a half to London. So did that, quarantined at a hotel for 2 weeks, then went to Wales, shot that, came here,
jeez.
and then had 1 day off and started another film. So it's just been like back to back, but it's crazy. I
No,
mean,
that's awesome.
But
But
you
you
know what?
want
In
more
Europe,
time
it wasn't
off, though.
as bad. Well, now I have like a month and a half off, which is great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But I don't like. I love to work on the
You
right
do,
things.
but you like. I know that you
But
want.
I'm
You'd rather
picky.
stick with limited stuff, like
Yeah.
do like mini, not mini series, but limited series.
Yeah.
Get in and out, movies.
Mm-hmm.
This and that makes sense. What's next? What's the one you're gonna go do in a month and a half?
I can't talk because it's not announced yet, but
Okay.
it's
Oh,
cool.
okay. All right.
Nice.
But no, yeah, I'm working on like. I wish I could say like this thing that's launching in the fall. That it's like another thing, a company that I'm doing.
Right.
Which is gonna be fucking sick. And when I have it, I'm gonna bring whatever it is here, and we could do a podcast about it, and it'll be really
Nice.
really fun.
Nice.
Definitely.
Fuck yeah. Well, it's like real quick though, because I know you got to jump, but like I know you just signed on to be an ambassador / advisor at Hemp's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I
it's
use it all
crazy.
the time.
Everyone's
Really?
been coming up to the. I use it. I'm
all
like,
the
it's
time.
great.
Yeah, it's like
Fucking-
that. Yeah.
I love it.
I only knew it from my old tanning parlor, Uvason, on like Beverly.
That's when
or
I first started
Hershey.
using it at tanning salons when I was younger.
Yeah, and I'm
That's
like, yo, that
great.
shit smells so good. So
No,
I
it's
literally
great.
drove there to get it. I didn't realize like they sell this shit everywhere.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a great company to be
And-
with.
Privé Revaux. Tell us more about it. You guys started in 2018,
Revaux.
correct?
Yeah, we've been going for a couple years now.
Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah.
Jamie will be pissed if I pronounce it wrong. Privé Revaux. Okay.
It's so funny because everyone's like, how do you pronounce it? I'm like, I just say Privé, but But yeah, I've been doing it with Jamie and this guy David Schottenstein,
Right.
Haley Steinfeld. We've had
Right.
a lot of different celebrities do collaborations and like one-off capsules.
Nice.
But it's been great. It's been a minute and it's super successful and we're still going to keep going.
It's amazing. Yeah, and I have a
and
couple
Jamie's
pairs
great,
too.
yeah.
I have a couple hitmans.
They're great.
Jamie
It's
hooked me
fun.
up with some hitmans.
And Jamie's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's so nice.
Yeah.
He's such a great partner to work with, especially on something like this. Because it's never boring with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you have to go to
Right.
events or like do something, I'm just
Right.
laughing my ass off the
No,
whole
I
time.
was,
'cause
I
it's
Always.
was,
so
I
funny,
was at his house and he
Always.
told us stories one night, and I
Always.
wouldn't show. I mean, you can't even talk because he's just too busy laughing. It's
No,
super
yeah,
entertaining.
he's the best.
And speaking of Privé Revaux, we are so fortunate that Ashley and the team over at Privé Revaux are kind enough to be sending us over a few shipments of glasses, different types. So we will be selling on the Cray shop on Mercari. So be sure to check that out. We'll be going on sale. It'll be in the store today. So check them
And
out.
obviously, all the proceeds from that
Go to the Children's Hospital LA, of
Los
course.
Angeles.
Nice.
Which is amazing.
So thanks
Yeah.
for the support.
Of
and
course.
We really
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
And thank you
course.
for taking the time to hang out with us today.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
This was so fun.
You gotta
It
come
was a
back
little
again.
touch and go. I didn't know if he'd show up. I felt crazy, just like worried about it. All of a sudden, I felt like a fucking club promoter. Like people are gonna show
We'll,
up.
we'll always remember that we had the earthquake here together. While
Literally.
We had a
The
moment.
earthquake-
survived,
the earthquake
guys.
We didn't feel, but the sign did. You
Yeah,
know?
we survived.
No, but seriously, thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much.
Like,
It was
for
so
real.
fun.
Definitely.
We'll do it again.
Swag is just.
We'll do it
Yes,
again
you have
soon.
to come back and visit us, with whatever that surprise
Yeah.
is. So awesome.
Appreciate
I will.
it. Thank you so
Thanks,
much, Rob.
guys.
All right.
All right, peace out from the Cray.
The Cray.
The Cray.
The Cray.
The Cray.